Once again, God bless you. Thank you. Thank all you guys who are tuned in, all you guys that are here in my midst. We are here again for another Bible class. We are here at Lebanon Baptist Church to teach the word of the Lord and to teach God's principles and to teach God's benefits and policies for our life. This is where we come to learn all about who God is, what God says, and who we are in God. This is Bible class. And we know when we come to Bible class, this is where we come, where we love to dig and dig in the scriptures and dig in the scriptures until we pull out a treasure. And the scripture is full of treasures. It's just like a treasure hunt. If you don't go seeking, if you don't go digging, you may never find treasure. But that's why, glory be to God, God has placed people in our lives and people over us who God have given anointing to, who God have blessed with the ability to help structurally break scripture down. The Bible said, I didn't say this, Paul said, study to show thyself approved, rightly, knowing how to rightly divide the word of truth. That's the, yeah, you know. I could tell you. I think of myself. I'm a good studier. I'm a person that studies well. But it don't mean nothing if God don't reveal revelation. All the studying in the world, all my techniques that I have, all the things that I have to break down this word and that word and to exegete the word and to break it down to understand its meaning and what it means nothing if God does not give me revelation. We were talking about speech last week. Speaking. I believe we were talking about speaking. Did we not start in Genesis 1? From the beginning? Well, since we started there, let's go back there. Let's start back there so we can dig a little bit deeper in it. We're in Genesis, the first chapter, the first book, and the first chapter. That's right after your table of contents. You can't miss that one. The first chapter. Look, I know what we spoke about last week. If I could, if you guys would allow me to, I just want to dig a little bit deeper. Can I dig a little bit deeper into speaking? Because remember we were talking about speaking. And how powerful speaking is to God. You remember that? Okay, let's go back. Genesis 1. And we'll begin reading that, the first chapter and the first verse. And it records these words. You'll find these words. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And this is what we started our series on last week. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Now we're going to keep going a little further to dig a little deeper. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. We're going to dig right in that. Can we dig in that real quick and pull out some things? Because I remember, I told you that God sees you in my speech, how we speak, how we correspond. God sees that. as something that is mighty. Say, prove it. Let's go back to where we went last week. Go to the 11th chapter of Genesis, same book. I'm going to go right back to where we were, and I'm going to show you how the speech, what kind of speech God recognized. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I do believe. I'm just saying that because I know. I heard Jesus over there in Matthew say, Jesus said, you will be judged not by everything you do, not for everything you do. He said, but you will be judged by every idle word that come out your mouth. I didn't say that. Jesus said this. He said, your words justify you, and it's your words that condemn you. I didn't say that. You go to Matthew the 12th chapter, you'll find that in there. Jesus said that. You will be judged by the words you let come out your mouth. That's why in Proverbs you will find in Proverbs, the writer of Proverbs say that life and death is in the power of what you say. Genesis, the 11th chapter. Remember this? Let's go over it. Let's go over. We're going to dig. I know you want to work. The 11th chapter of Genesis. Here we go. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick and stone and slime, and they had mortar. And they said, let us go build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach into heaven. And let us make us name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. And God said, yours say, and the Lord said, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. He said, their language is one. Your Bible said that too, right? Their language is as one. And they speak as one. And God, because their language was one and they spoke as one, they were able to do as the Bible, God said this. I didn't say it's God said, we got to go down there because we got to restrain them, because they will be able to do whatever they try to do and even whatever they imagine to do. Only because their language is one. Now, let me help you out with that, because I know you think, let me help you out with that. I have to help you out with that, because you think that God said because they said they all spoke English, that's what he meant. He didn't say they had the same dialect. Their language was one. In other words, watch this. In other words, meaning they understood all the same way. That's what I mean by that language. In other words, their efforts and what they all were trying to obtain all had the same goal. That was the language God was talking about. Because when a people have the same goal, the same mindset to get to the finish line, and accomplish the goal that was set, can't nothing stop them. Now, when that's the language that's the language God is talking about. They all have the same language. In other words, they all care about what they're doing the same way. It's not one that say, I'm tired of working today. I don't feel like I'm gonna work today. And the other one said, why you're not even working as hard as us? Why should we? But they all had the same goal. And their goal, there was no big I's or little U's. The goal was the finish line. Whatever it takes to get the job done, we are all on one accord. And the Bible said that. The Bible said that they said, let us make a tower all the way to heaven and put our name in heaven. And God came down and watch this. He didn't see their work ethic, Ray. He didn't see who was working and who wasn't working. That ain't why he came down. He didn't see who really believed the benefits of what we was doing. He didn't see that's not what he came down for. He came down and said, behold, the people is one. In other words, meaning no other person is looking another direction. No other person is trying to go another way. He said the people is one. One mind, one goal, one objective. The people are one. And then he said, and they all have one language. They all thinking the same thing. They all believe in the same thing. And they all work in what they thinking and believing. That's one language. It's one language. And the Bible said God came down and said, hey, let us go down there. Because when you learn or we learn how to speak the same language, there will be nothing that we can even imagine that will be able to stop you. That's what I didn't say that. God said, go, let us go down and confound their language and their speech. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. When you have the right speech pattern. Now, I don't want you to, I'm talking different than your language. Because you speak more than with your mouth. Say prove. Say prove. Can I prove how you speak more than with your mouth? Jesus said that what comes out the mouth must first come from, which means it had to get in there somewhere. And you didn't speak it in there. Huh? Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure you know what I'm talking about with speech. Now, let's get back to the one, because I have to go a little bit further than what I was talking about. Because Jesus, the Bible said that God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw a light, and it was good. And he divided light from the darkness. He called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was the first day. Here we go with God. In the beginning of creation, God is sitting here speaking. We have God here, the eternal God right here. The eternal God who was before all things, bringing all things into being by speaking. By the word of his mouth, By the word of his mouth, God brought all things into being. The word of his mouth was the majesty of his power. And his power being held by his mouth, by his words. Do you know for a long time, scientists didn't really believe in the astronomers of the Bible time and all the time, and they kept thinking that the sun was moving. They kept thinking that it's the sun that goes up and down. Until they found out that the world is still spinning where God told it to stand. The sun and moon don't never move. But because God put seeds in the earth, his words cause the earth to move. And then right here we see God talking about some let there be light. Can you imagine that in your life? I'm talking about your life. Using your mouth to be, watch this, to be the power that holds all things in your life together. The mighty majesty of your words being what holds together everything in your life. This is where we find God at, because there's nothing here from the beginning. And God said, let there be light. Now let's dig. Come on, I mean, if I had to look it up, I want to show it to you. We got to go deeper. We must go deeper. Let's come on, let's just start in the Old Testament, go to Proverbs. I want you to know about it. You know, we went through a lot of Proverbs last week. Because Proverbs talk a lot about your mouth. Solomon knew a lot about his mouth. Wisest man in the world. He knew how important his words were. Come on, Proverbs. Go to Proverbs. Let's go to the 12th chapter. Let's go to the 12th chapter. We read a lot of Proverbs, but we're going to go a little bit more. Right here, the 12th chapter. You there? Proverbs 12. Proverbs 12. And we're going to begin right there at the 12th and the 13th to 14th verse. 12th chapter, 13th and 14th verse. He said, the wicked is snared by the transgressions of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. A man shall be satisfied with the good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hand shall be rendered unto him. Man shall be satisfied by what he said, by what he declare, he decree. That shall that man be satisfied. Oh, let's stay there. Flip back, go to the 10th chapter. Stay there for a minute. I don't want to stay there. I'm going to start right in the 10th chapter right here. Stay there. And so we're going to start right here. Just to prove it. Go 10th, the 10th chapter, the 18th verse, starting right there. Look at it. Let's go with 17. The 10th chapter, the 17th verse. He said, he is in the way of life that keepeth instruction, but he that refuseth reproof error. He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Your speech. Stay right there. Come on down some to that 31st verse. Stay in the same chapter, 31st verse. You see that? He says, The mouth of the just bring forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh forwardness. I'm gonna get you there. That's fine. Now let's flip on over to Psalms. Go to the next book over. The next book before Proverbs. I want to show you something. I want to show you because God said that there be light, and there was light, and He saw it, and it was good. He divided it, night and night in the morning, and He called it the first day. I'm gonna take you there, but I want to show you why your mouth needs to be as Paul put it. Paul said this to the Corinthians, and James said this too. They said it's like putting a bit in a horse's mouth. They say you put the bit in the horse's mouth, and because that bit is in that horse's mouth, you could turn the horse whichever way you want to. You don't have to hit his leg, you have to pull his ear, but because what's in his mouth, you can turn him whichever way you want to. He said, let that be in you. Because if you can control the mouth, you can turn your life whichever way you need to. Come on, let's go. You that Psalm. The 100, I'm going all the way to the end, the 141st division. I'm all the way to the end. I want us to understand God. God, remember. Jesus always echoes these words. I do nothing of my own accord. Jesus kept saying, I do nothing on my own. I only say what I hear my Father say. And I only do what I see my Father do. Psalm 141, 141. Watch this. Watch what David said. We know David know. Watch David said. Why here? In the 141st division of Psalms, right there at the third verse, he said, look at David. Look at David. Look at David. David said, set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Set a watch, because David knew that there's circumstances and sometimes situations that have caused the wrong thing to come out of my mouth. And because I'm just a human being and I fight with flesh every day, I might allow it to ease out. But David said, set a watch. Set a watch by my mouth. Set a watch by my mouth. That way you can keep my doors shut when they should be shut. Open when they should be open. And sometimes sealed when they need to be sealed. Lord, you said a watch by my mouth, because I keep trying to watch it, and stuff keep coming out. It keeps sneaking past me. It keeps sneaking past me. It keeps sneaking past me. I said, whoa. What? I said, okay, all right, I get a little bit more. I get a little bit more. Go with me. Watch this. We in Psalms, right? Are we in Psalms? Good. Go to the 34th division. I'm telling you, listen to me. The reason why I'm giving you guys these scriptures is because I want to make sure that you guys are on board with me when I show you, Jamel, when God spoke what he done and why he did it, but what was his purpose. So I need you guys to be on board. So I need you to understand, first of all, you must understand the ability your mouth has. Because if you don't understand, and if you don't believe or understand the ability your mouth has, then you don't even believe your mouth can do this. And you just keep talking and just keep talking. And what you're doing is keep condemning yourself. Look. This is why Jesus said. This is why Jesus said. He said, listen. If you do unto others, as you would have them to do unto you, you will never have a problem. If you just do to others how you would like to be done to, come on, go to Psalms. I'm going to take you there. Go to Psalms. I'm going to take you there. Go to Psalms. 34th, the 34th verse. Chapter, I mean. And the 13th verse. The 34th chapter and the 13th verse. Look what David said. David said, keep my tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile. Now, here's the thing, Michael, right here in the 30th chapter. Guess what? Guess what's going on right here when David's writing this? Guess what's going on at this time? David is being hunted by the king. Didn't do nothing to deserve it. David was a shepherd. The prophet came and anointed David. David didn't go to the church. I want to learn how to be the preacher. David was watching his father's sheep. The prophet came and anointed David. And now we find David running from the king. Saul, he run away. Saul, he running the cave to cave. Because Saul is trying to kill him. And all while Saul is trying to kill him, David knew, Lord, don't let me sin with my mouth. Even though the king trying to kill me for nothing. How many of us, when we get the opportunity and we know our enemies are on our backs, would ask God, Lord, just don't let me talk bad about them. Just don't allow me to slip up and say the wrong thing about them. This is what David is saying. David is saying this. And you know, this what we just read, where he said, keep my tongue from evil. You know, that comes after that when David said it, that comes right after I will bless the Lord at all times. See, David knew I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continue to be in my mouth. David sitting there saying all this, and then he go, now, Lord, I know what to say about you. Just keep my mouth from saying what I want to say about them. That's what David is saying. Keep my tongue, God, please. Keep my tongue. Paul said, this one little member is like a bonfire. This one, and the thing about it is we only have one tongue. But that one tongue, come on, follow me. Watch this. Follow me. Let's go to I want to show you something. Go to John. We're in the New Testament now, baby. Go to John. Because y'all don't think Jesus said this. Go to John. That's the Old Testament. Okay, go. We in the new dispensation. Jesus died for me now. And Jesus did die for you. And Jesus died for you, so it'd be easier for you to do what God said. John 19, the 19th chapter of John. Please follow with me, please. I want to show you something. I want to show you how important your speech is. We have to make sure that we align it where it's supposed to be, how it should be, how and detail it, how the way God details it for us in our speech. Watch this. 19. You there? Y'all there? In the 19th chapter? Woo, y'all fast. We start, now I'm gonna start at the 8th verse. Watch this. Why he said, when Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was more afraid. They were talking about the law and all that. And he went again into judgment hall and said unto Jesus, who or whence art thou? Where you come from? But Jesus gave him no answer. Then Pilate said unto him, speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have the power to crucify thee, and I have the power to release thee? Don't you know that? Then Jesus answered, you couldn't have no power at all against me, except it was given to you from above. Therefore, he that delivered me unto you, he hath the greatest sin. But this is what I want to get you to see. Speech. Pilate asked Jesus, where are you from? Where are you from? I want to show you how Jesus knows and understands his speech, when to talk and when not to. When to speak and when not to speak. What to speak to, who to speak to, and when not to speak. The Bible said Jesus didn't open his mouth. So why would Jesus open his mouth? He ain't coming nowhere from Bethlehem, Galilee. I'm going to prove that to you in my thing. Just remember that. Jesus didn't open his mouth. Remember that. Hold on to that. Hold on to me while I walk you across the street. Now let's come on. Let's stay right there in the New Testament. I don't know, y'all don't want to go nothing old. Go to Matthew. I'm going to show you these in the gospel. Go to Matthew. Watch this right here. Watch this. I'm just showing you the difference. Here go Jesus again, same thing. I'm right there in Matthew, the 26th chapter, and I'm going to begin right here at this 62nd verse. You get it there? I'll give you a few seconds. Matthew 26 and 62, and you'll find his word. And the high priest arose. Now he ain't talking to Pilate. Okay, now he talking to the preachers, the high priest. He talking to the magistrates now. They question. And the high priest arose and said unto him, answerest thou nothing? Because they was asking him all these questions, the chief priest and all that. And Jesus ain't said a word. He said, you don't answer none of these questions? What is it with these witnesses against thee? 63. But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that you tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus, that's why I love him. Jesus opened his mouth and said, you said it. Nevertheless, I say to you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Are you the Son of God or not? See, a lot of times, what's wrong with a lot of our speech? What's wrong with a lot of our speech is that we think that we are responsible, or we think that we should be held to a responsibility to answer everything that's asked to us. Some things I don't have to answer. But I'm gonna show you. Remember, I told you to hold on to what Jesus just said a word. Now I want you to hold on to what I'm saying right now. Sometimes I don't have to say a word, and I'm gonna show you all that in 1 second. I just want you to hold on to that though. Hold on to Jesus didn't say a word, and I'm telling you, sometimes you don't have to say nothing. Hold on to them through things till I get across the street. Come on, let's go. I gotta walk it down now. Go. We gotta walk. Come on, I want you to see why God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And then the Bible said, and then God saw the light. And the light was good. And then God divided the light from the day, and God called the night, the dark night, and the day, and the day, and the light day, and the first, and the night and the first day was the first day. God said, "Let there be light." Come on. Let's walk across the street. Let's go. Let's come on out of Matthew. Go to John. Come on out of Matthew. Come on out of Matthew. Go to John. I want to show you. I'm trying to point out to you. The difference in speaking and talking. I'm just trying to point out the difference between speaking and talking. See, a lot of us talk a lot, but we don't speak at all. Yeah, we talk a lot, and we don't speak at all. Come on, you there, John? You there, John? You there, Mike? Man, you must be a minister. You quick. You must be a minister. Man. You know what, Mike? Since you so quick now, you dumb. You too quick. Go to James now, because you was a little too quick for John for me. You got there a little too quick. Let's go to James. That's right after Hebrews. I want to show you what James said, because you know James, y'all know James was powerful, don't you? Yeah. You know James knew Jesus when he was little. James was his brother now. You there? Are you there? All right, as long as you're there. Let's go to James. Can I start right at the, let's see. Let's go to the 3rd chapter of James. Go to, I want both of them. Give me a second. James 3. Are you there? Start at the 5th verse. Watch this. I want you to see James. James know about that tongue. Oh, James know about that tongue. Watch this. In that 5th verse, you'll find these words. Even so, I said this, didn't I? The tongue is a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindles. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. He said, the tongue defileth the whole body, and it setteth it on fire, the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. Whole body. I heard Sunday, I heard Minister Bradley say, as for me and my house. As for me and my house. Your speech can burn up your house. I didn't say that. James just said that. So that James just said that. James just said that. And the tongue is a fire. And it setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. Your speech can set your actions on fire. Your speech, in other words. God can give you the ability to do something. And if your speech is not in line with the right language, you will burn up what God gave you to do by what you allow to come out your mouth concerning the ability he gave you. God done bless you with the mentality and the mind and the brain ability of a 4.6 GPA. And all you steady saying every night is, I'm so tired of studying. I'm sick of studying. I'm tired of studying. I'm tired of studying. And every time those words echo out your mouth, the ability of you to observe and obtain starts to becoming more and more minimal. Because your speech is burning up your body. Come on, let's go. We almost crossed the street. Let's go to we 5. We 5. What was that? What did we read? We was in the 4th chapter, third. Go to the 5th verse, Mike. That's only one page over, Mike. 5th chapter. I'm sorry, the 5th chapter. Look. James was very, very particular and adamant about your speech. Because James know that if your speech is not held in the contemporary of being first, above everything that you do, everything that you attain to do, anything you try to put forth your efforts in, if your speech is going against it, your speech will win every time. I don't care how hard you want to do it. Your speech will prevent you from doing what you want to do because you're letting the wrong speech out your mouth. Go, come on, watch this. You there? Are you there? We're in the 5th chapter, right, Mike? There's only 5 chapters in James. Okay, 5 chapter, 5th chapter. Watch this, right there at that 12th verse. He said, but above all things, my brethren, look how he's telling you how to keep control of your mouth. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yes be yes, let your no be no, lest you fall into condemnation. Now, the reason why I said that is because go back to Matthew. I told you we finna hip hop skip across the street. He just said, let your yes be yes and your no be no, lest you fall into condemnation. Did he just say that? Go to Matthew 12, Devon. Go to Matthew 12. Devon know this. I know he know this. He know all this part. Devon know this. 36. The 36, I'm going to 37, but the 36th verse. But I say, this is Jesus talking. This is not me. This is Jesus. If you have a good Bible like the pastor, then you see red words. Okay, so but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak. He didn't, Mike. Did you notice he didn't say by every idle word that men shall say? Do you notice that? He said, but by every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. Now watch, here we go. Back to James. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. Let me tell you what that means by condemned. So break it out. Come down to Inglewood area real quick. My speech can prevent my doing. That's what your condemnation is. Let me know what your judgment is. Let me know what your judgment, because your judgment of your speech is only for you. Your own judgment judge you. What come out your mouth, it judges you. It prevents you. If the right words come out your mouth, it propels you. It excels you. But it's what comes out of your speech. It condemns or judges you. It prevents you from finishing your task fully, or it allows you to get to the finish line. Your speech. How you gonna sit there and say, I want to do this, I want to do this, or I'm trying to go for this, or I'm gonna put forth effort in this. And the first sign of weariness, or the first sign of opposition, the first thing you start doing is speaking against what you trying to put your hand to. And why would you think it's gonna work? And you speaking against you. If you speak against you, who God gonna work for? How can God help me if I'm speaking against me? Come on, Mike. We right in the middle of the street. We almost there. We almost there, Mike. We almost there. It's almost there. Watch this. Watch this. Watch that. Go with me, Mike. Go with me. Go with me. Go with me. Go with me. Hey, we still in James. Ain't we still in James? We still in James. Let's go to the first. Let's go to the first chapter. The first of James. Of James. You still there, Mike? No. I'm. The reason why I'm saying this now, Mike, is I told you I'm almost in the middle of the street. We finna come on, get this thing out of here. Hold on, wait a minute. I just thought about one. I thought about one, Mike. I thought of one. Go a few books over to Titus. A few books over. Y'all know what Titus said. Go to Titus. Let's go to Titus. Let me see something real quick. I remember Titus had something to say about that. I remember Titus did something. Let me find it. Titus. Yep, there we go. I knew it was in Titus. Titus. Go to Titus. Let's go to this, the second chapter. Go to the second chapter. Can you go to the second chapter in Titus for me? I know Michael want me to read one, but I'm not gonna read one. I ain't even going that far. I'm gonna go to 7 first, and then I'm gonna go to 8, and then I'm gonna go to 15 like Michael wants. Look, watch this. Look at Titus. He said, start at the 7th verse. He said, in all things, he's just when he telling them how to be sober-minded and ready. He said, in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, and sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned. Sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of a contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. Okay, now let's go on down to what Mike wants us to read. Mike wants us to read 15. These things speak and exhort and rebuke with all authority. Let no man despise thee. Titus is telling them how to speak and how to line up their speech with their works. And you cannot try to show me your works. Don't try to show me what you've done. If when me and you are in conversation, your conversation does not match what you're showing me. Come on. Come on, Michael. Mike. I'm trying to get there. Y'all won't let me get there, Mike. You won't let me get there. You won't let me get there. We ain't late. We're almost there. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this, Mike. This is what I'm trying to get you to see. Okay. Now, let's get back to the two pieces I told you to hold. To get back to the beginning of what God said, let there be light. Okay. Come on, Mike. Let's get across the street. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. We know what he said, right? Now, no, because you guys are in Titus. Now go back to James. Go back to James. Go back to James. I want to show you something. Go back to James. I want to show you something. Yeah, James 1. That's what I want you to do. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. First chapter. Watch this. Watch this. I got you holding on two things, right? Okay, good. And let me put this before your eyes so you can hold on to them and look at this. James, the first chapter, and the 17th verse, you'll find these words. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Keep that. I want you to hold that for me. That's pivotal. That's paramount that you guys hold this right here. That every good gift and perfect gift is from above, and it cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, and this part here, neither shadow of turning. Remember that. The Father lights, neither shadow of turning. I don't stay with me. Stay with me. That was James, the first chapter and the 17th verse. You there, Mike? You there? Okay, good. Yeah, we almost there. Come on, Mike. Hold them up. First John. First John. Yeah, or as Minister Jackson would say, John. First John. Watch this. We're going back to the beginning. God created the light and all that. Watch this, Mike. Watch this. First John, the first chapter and the 5th verse. This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you. Watch this. That God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Tell you what they got to do with my speech. That God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. I wondered about that tape. I wondered about that when they had to do with speech. I wondered about that because he said there's no darkness in him at all. I said, now wait a minute, Lord. Wait a minute. There's no darkness in him at all. He's the Father of lights. There's no turning of shadow. But in the beginning, darkness was there. Wait a minute. But that got to do with my speech. Come on, Mike. We almost there. Let's get on the curb. Get on out of here. Let's get on the curb, Mike. Get on the curb, Mike. Come on. Let's get on the curb, Mike. Let's get out of here. Michael. Here we go, Michael. Can I show you why, Michael? No darkness in him. Did you read that? Yeah, no dark. He's the Father of lights. There's no darkness in him. There's no darkness. John. This is your last one. Go to John. Yeah, gospel is recorded by John. It's your last one, so I can put it tied together for you, Mike. I'm gonna put you on the curb. You there? You there? You there? Okay, right here. Third chapter. Did I say third chapter? I did, didn't I? The third chapter. I'm sorry. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch it. Let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light. And it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day and the night and the darkness night. And in the beginning was the first day. You there? Third chapter. Go with me right here. Starting right here at this 19th verse. This is Jesus talking. The 19th verse, yeah. And this is the condemnation. Now, before I heard, we read the Jesus said you're gonna be your words will either condemn you or justify you, right? Right? Your words will condemn you. Okay, so listen to what Jesus is saying. Jesus saying, and this is the condemnation right here. This is the condemnation right here. That light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they were wrought in God. Now let's go back to Genesis, and we're going to get up the stairs. We're going up the stairs, Mike. It's over. It's over. Go back to Genesis. Go back to Genesis. We out the street now. We on the curb. We going in the house. We going in the house. Back to the beginning. Back to the beginning. Right at the beginning. Watch this. Read with me. First chapter. Read with me. I want to show you something. Because I know that we read this a lot. And I know that when we read this, what happens is we see in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And then we see that God said, let there be light. And we see that and we think God is talking about the sun. Not so. He's talking about the stars, the moons. Not so. Let's go. Let's start. I'm going to read from the beginning. I want you to follow me. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And there go that word again. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved on the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, the darkness he called night. And in the evening and the morning were the first day. Now, we'll see that, Mike, right? And we'll say, well, he said in the evening and the morning was the first day. So the light, he got to be talking about the sun. The moon, the darkness, he got to be talking about the moon. No, not so. That has not even been made yet. You think I'm lying? Go over to the 14th verse. You see that? See that? See the 14th verse? I just want to show you that he wasn't talking about the firmament, the lights, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And God said, this is the 14th verse, same first chapter. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons and for the days and for the years. And let them be for lights in the firmament and the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So this light God is talking about first has nothing to do with the celestial being, the star of sun and moon. But what kind of light was God talking about? What was that light? What was that light? Well, I said, gee, what was God talking about? I'm glad you asked me. Go to John again. Going back to John. John, the gospel. Because it all got to do with the beginning. John, the first chapter. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. What light was God creating, Devon? The first chapter, in the first verse of John, you will find in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was the life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shined in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Go back to Genesis, first chapter. What was the light God was talking about here? Let there be light. Because whatever light he was talking about, over there in John, he just said it was the life of man. Saying the word with God, and the word with God, and God was the word, and the word was beginning with God, and there was the word, and the word was the life of men. And the word was the light, and that light was the life of men. What was the light of men in word? We out of here. And God said, here we go. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. Here we go, Mike, right here. Here we go. And God divided the light from the darkness. What do all that got to do with anything? Here we have God, and we just read that man loved darkness more than the light because our deeds are dirty and evil. So what light was God doing? And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And he saw the light, that it was good. Now let me paraphrase so we can get out of here. And that light, as John said, was the light, was the life of man. Watch this. Can I paraphrase so I can tell you where the light at? Because we know he wasn't talking about the sun, moon, and stars. Watch this. Let me switch some words out. And God said, let there be speech. And he saw speech was good. And what did he do to make this the life of men? He divided speech from good speech to dark speech, from light speech to darkness of speech. And God said it was good. The light that he said, let there be, was the fact that he'd allowed let there be to be light. You didn't get it. It went over your head. The light that he was speaking about, let there be light, was the fact that you and I have the ability to let there be by your speech. It wasn't the sun. It wasn't the moon. The only thing he created at that time was the light of man. What's the light of man? In other words, what's the light of man? Watch this. The only thing that no other creation God made have is speech. That's the light of man. How you talk, how you speak, what you speak, when you speak, A dog don't have a choice but to bark. But I got the choice to speak whatever I choose to speak out of my mouth. That's the light. That man now has the creative power to have majesty in his hand with his speech. That's the light. But because so many of our deeds are evil, because our deeds are evil, you know, your deeds, how you act about somebody, how you treat someone, how you have the lack of respect for someone. Them the deeds he's talking about. Them the deeds that's evil, because it's those deeds that control your speech. That's why you can't tell me what to do if you don't show respect to somebody. How you gonna tell me how I should treat somebody and you don't even show respect? No. God said, let there be light. And it was light. Meaning that, watch this, Tate, meaning that. And then the Bible said that God said, he put the sun up there and the moon and the darkness he called night and the light he called day. You know what? Haven't you? I know I'm right. You know what God was doing when he done that? When he named day and night? Guess what he was doing? Of course, he was showing off, but guess what he was doing? Guess what he was doing, Vaughn? Guess what he was doing? Guess what he was doing? He was showing, watch this. He was showing how what his speech created. Watch this. He was showing how what his speech created had to follow the exchange and the chain of command of what he told it to do. Moon, sun, you day, you night. And what he spoke to, what he spoke about, what he spoke and brought out had to agree, listen to me, had to agree and follow his instructions. That's why you must be careful how you speak. Watch this, Tate. Because if you spoken something, Michael, and you haven't done what God done, which was divided it and gave it its purpose, you have spoken something that's out there that's running rapid. It has no sense of direction. It has no rules to follow because you did not fully finish speaking. When God spoke, gave a job, told what to do. We too busy wanting to speak and not giving instruction to what we spoke. And what we speak end up not paying us no attention and saying, thank you for letting me out. He divided. Meaning he divided bad speech from good speech. He divided the darkness from the light. He divided when you saying something because you upset than when you should say something, period. He divided what speech could do. That was the light he brought. Because the world was dark and void, meaning empty. Nothing was there. You know, when you're just going around, you ain't got no purpose. Woe is me. Woe is me. You void, dark, darkness, and there's no one, or neither have you, spoke and divided the light. The light of man. Listen to me. He said, was Jesus not the light of man? Was Jesus the light of man? He's the light of the world. Is Jesus the light of man? Right. Big answer. Yes or no? He is. Jesus came to die for us, did he not? But all Jesus kept saying throughout his whole life is, I don't say nothing about myself. I don't do nothing of my own. Yes, I'm the light of man. Guess what the light of man was? That spirit of speech. That's why Jesus came to talk, to redeem, to save. It was all speech. Say, prove it. He left and said, I'm going to send somebody back there to talk to you. I'm going to send another voice you will be able to hear. I'm going to send a comforter. But what's the comforter job, Jesus? To remind you what I said. And the only way the comforter can remind me of what Jesus said is he had to speak to me to know it. What's the light of man? See, I know y'all don't like that type of teaching. Because in order to control your mouth, well, this is going to sound like a paradox, but in order to control your mouth, you got to shut up. Yeah. I knew. Thank you for that one. Who's that? Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. To control that speech, you have to shut up. Because every time you talk, God said, look. God said this, and I'm done. God said, Jesus said, Jesus said, listen. Jesus said, listen. When you go before your enemies, or you go before the magistrates, or you go before the people that is trying to condemn you, Jesus said, shut up. I'll give you the words to say. Don't you open your mouth, because all you gonna do is think you know what to say and mess it up. Shut up. I'll put the words in your mouth to say. I know we don't like that speech, dude. See, because when you talk about speech, that shows you how much work you still got to do. It don't. It shows you how much work you really have to do. Though. Well, we're across the street. Y'all happy? That's, that speech. That speech make you really see how far your salvation done took you, don't it? Don't it? Yeah, I know. Listen to me. Your speech is so important. The devil works overtime just to try to make you say the wrong words. He works overtime just to try to get you to speak the wrong thing out your mouth. That's why David said, guard your lips. He works overtime just to try to get you to speak the wrong words. Because if you speak the wrong words and you haven't divided it and gave it instruction, he can use it against you. Right against you, right against you. All right, we across the street. We done came in the house. We left a little bit behind for you. We'd like to thank all you guys that are tuned in, all you guys that are tuned in on our social media platform. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are located here at 1501 West Marquette Road, Lebanon Baptist Church, a church with a faith you can live by. We will be here Sunday morning, early from 10:30 to 11:15 for Sunday school, from 11:45 until the Spirit says we're done. It is our last week of Women's Month. Last Sunday, we'll be here. Please come on out. Please come on out. Oh, yeah, we'll be here. Come on out and enjoy the fun with us. God bless you. We love you. Make sure you guys come in. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in.